Hey everyone, this is Andrew at Plainview Farm, and it's like 90 degrees, which means camo short weather. So the first thing we're gonna do is get these panels set up so that we can run all the goats in here and get them pinned up, get them trapped. Then we can load them onto the trailer, which actually I guess I need to get from over yonder. But anyway, like I said, first we're gonna get these panels set up. We'll go get the trailer and then get the goats all rounded up and take a trip to the sale barn. Okay. Oh, too close. There's some goats hanging out in the shade. That's right where we want them. They're pretty close. Livestock trailer's been over here. Pigs have been using it as a shelter, so I'm gonna steal their shelter. At least for a little bit anyway. Okay. All right, you little pigs. Don't nobody try to escape. I'm sure that'll work. They're good pigs. I'm reasonably sure they're not going to try to escape. All right. Hopefully we won't have to move this post. Woo, look at them white legs. Oops, got into the post just a little bit. All right, watch out, piglies. See, I told you they were good pigs. Yeah, back up, don't make a liar out of me. Back up, piggies, back up. I know, boys. It's just gonna be for a few hours. Nope, nope. Pick, pick, pick. Get back. All right, I'll get the water hose on them before I leave. That way they'll have a spot to cool off. All right, here we go back. Bella and Charles. All right, I think that'll work. Drop that right there. That'll be good. Can't pull the trailer to the sale barn with the tractor, so there. I think we're good now. All right, so I went in, got some water, cooled off, changed my shirt, and now I've got to try to beat the storm that's rolling in. So we gotta hurry. Come on, goats. Come on, goats. Come on, goats. Hey, goats, 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 goats. I may or may not have said this before, but these big coffee cans like this make great feed mineral scoopers. Come on, goats. There we are. Come on, goats. Come on. Are they following me? Yep, they are. Good deal. Ruby's right up front. Unfortunately, it's time for Ruby to go. Come on, everybody. And of course, they're all gonna stay right out there. Calves and baby goats. It's frustrating. Excuse me, Charles. Come on, babies. Come on, babies. Come on, baby goats. Come on, baby goats. Come on, goats. Yeah, I know. Yeah, here. Chat, everybody. Come on. Come on, babies. Come on, goats. Ruby, it's back there, babe. Come on, goats. Come on, goats. Come on, goats. Come on, goats. Come on. Come on. There. You heard about herding cats? Well, herding goats is about the same. Come on, babies. Come on, goats. Get everybody. Come on. Come on. Come on, goats. Come on, goats. Yeah, that's not working. We've got 1, 2, 3 boys right here. Come here, boys. Come here, boys. Not you. Go on up in there. Come on. How about you? Nope. You don't go. All right. What a mess. Oh, no. Okay. Nope. Out. 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 There. Let me double check. Girl. 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 All right, I think we've got all the right ones in there. So we have Billy Goat up in the front, Ruby there, and our wether Bucky, that he is the companion to our Billy Goat, and then our 4 young Billy Goats. They're all taking a trip today. And these are all of the nannies, and then one, I guess, yearling right there in Miss Pearl. Hey, Miss Pearly. And then 3 doling kids right here that we're gonna hang on to. The future of the herd. All right, we beat the storm, so now it's time to go for a ride. All right, so not long after I left out of here with the goats in the trailer, I ended up in a rainstorm, and it rained all the way to the livestock auction, which is actually the one that I went to this time is in Norwood, Missouri. I went up there to that auction, unloaded the goats. Like I said, it was pouring down rain, so I didn't turn the camera on to see any of that. And while I was at the farmer's market today in the rain, my wife and my kids ran up to the auction, and fortunately, the way it worked out, they actually got to see our goats sell. They got there in time to see ours sell. She actually said ours were the last goats of the day to sell before they moved on to other livestock. But that doesn't always work out because our schedules don't always permit us, you know, the opportunity to go to the sale. So that was exciting, and you know, we did get footage of that, of our goats going through the auction.
235, 235, you been here, sir, 235, 40, 40, 240, you been over here, 240, you been 240, and we get over the back, 240 only, and we get down 35, 40, and 35, and 45, 240, and 35, and 45, 35, 40, 235 on the internet, 235, and 15B, 390, and the $355, now the only $35, $355, $355, money's on $355 here, $50 now, $350, come on, let's score at $350. Whoa, 3 1/4. 335 here, and now the quarter 335 there, 225, 35 on here, here, 335, and let it go, grand quarter 30, and here, 325, 330, that's 25, 135 here. 325, 30, and the other 30 down time, yeah, Randy, 335 here, 330 down time, and the other 335 here, 330, come on, DMD, 330 DMD. $40, and the money's on, deals down 35, 40, and about 35, and 45, $35, $40, $35, and 45, $35, 40 right there, $35, 40 down time, $145, 50, internet you're out, $55, 60, you're still out, out there, 570, and you're still out, 580, $80 down time, 185, 85,
But the best part about my wife and kids going to the auction today was that they were able to get the check, and I will put a photo of this on the screen for you to see. That way you can see how things shook out. And I will say this, I also had these goats posted for sale, and sometimes I get traction on those, sometimes I don't. Last year, actually, I sold quite a few of our goats that way. Didn't take as many to the sale barn maybe as I otherwise would have. This year I didn't sell any goats that way. Of course, I didn't try as long either. We ended up deciding just to take them onto the sale barn pretty quick. And one of the reasons was we decided we were going to get rid of our billy goat this year. And so instead of trying to go through all the hassle of trying to separate him out from all of the does and the nannies, we just decided to take him to the sale barn. So, as I was saying, so the billy goat, he weighed 160 pounds. They all sold by weight. None of them sold by the head. So he weighed 160 pounds, brought a price of $235 per 100, or $2.35 a pound if you want to break it down that way, which that comes out to $376. I feel like that wasn't too bad for a billy goat that, you know, was 3-4 years old. I also took the 4 billy kids that you saw earlier in the video. They each weighed an average of 45 pounds at $3.50 a pound, with a total weight of 180 pounds. That came to $630 total for those 4, which comes out to $157.50, I think. Somewhere in there, if that's not right, but $157, you know, $150, $160 is what those kids brought. I had a weather goat. This was actually the companion goat that we had for our billy goat. Anytime we would separate him out from the nannies, we had a weather, which is a male goat that has been castrated. And he was basically there to keep him company. Goats are very social animals, and if they are off by themselves, they don't do well. they will try to find their herd, or they'll get depressed, and it's a whole big thing. Anyway, so he was our companion goat. We took him also. He weighed 80 pounds, and I was honestly pleasantly surprised how much he brought. He brought $3.30 a pound, or $264 total. Like I said, I was pretty happy. $264 definitely exceeded my expectations with him. I kept him because I felt like he was the poorest of all of the billy goats that we had last year, and so I banded him specifically to be the companion goat. So like I said, I feel like that was a major win, $264. And then Ruby. We really hated to let Ruby go. Ruby was a beautiful goat. If you like boar goats, Ruby was a beautiful traditional boar goat. And she is really friendly most of the time. She can be kind of cantankerous every now and then, but actually to the point of being a pest. She's always trying to get in your pocket, chewing on your shirt, and she's friendly to the point that she can... Something spooked the chickens. Anyway, she's friendly to the point that she can seem aggressive, you know, maybe knock you down, not intending to hurt you. In the time that we've had Ruby, we've only gotten one single kid out of her. She's not had twins for us. Both times that she kidded, she had a single, and only one of them survived. So, you know, the kids didn't really like her. The smaller kids, our children is what I'm talking about here, human kids, didn't really like her because, like I said, she, you know, she could knock you down, not necessarily intending to hurt you. And so, you know, for a production reason, and also for, you know, that safety, we decided it was time for Ruby to go, which Ruby, I believe, is about 7 or 8 years old. Like I said, Ruby weighed 130 pounds. She brought $1.80 a pound for a total of $234. And for some reason, I've got chickens all around me here wanting to talk. So that was 7 head for a total of $1,504. And the charges from the auction barn was $132.92, which left me a check for $1,371.08. So I am very pleased with how that went. I didn't expect Ruby to do as well as she did because, like I said, she's got some age on her, and it shows. And, you know, the Billy brought about, our herd Billy, he brought about what I expected. So, you know, I was hoping he would bring, you know, $300 to $400, and you know, I feel like that was pretty good. Now, I'll tell you this, whenever it comes to goats, I feel like, this is my personal opinion, the inputs, so long as you've got the infrastructure to handle them, the inputs for goats are relatively minor. Other than a little bit of wormer every now and then, the goats, they don't eat much in terms of, you know, what we have growing out here. They don't compete with the cattle. They don't eat much hay in the wintertime, and they generally bring a pretty good price. I've heard lots of farmers in the past who raised cattle and goats together say that their goats will run circles around their cattle in terms of profit. And I have found that to generally be true as well. Of course, the cattle market is really high right now. You know, there's cattle, at least in my area, bringing, you know, $4 a pound at the market, you know, at the livestock auction. So, you know, it may be a little bit tighter race than maybe in normal conditions, but like I said, I have found that to be true as well. Last year, the check that I got for the goats that I sold, which I had several more billy goats that I sold last year, but the goats that I sold last year, they paid for all of the hay. This year, it's not quite as much. I'm keeping all of the doelings. I only kept one doeling last year. This year, I'm keeping all the rest. And even with that being said, whenever it comes time to buy a billy goat in the fall, I'm still gonna cover 2/3 of what I spent on hay this year. So it's really hard for me to see how goats aren't profitable on my farm. Even, you know, here just on 20 acres, they add so much more than they take. Of course, I have good fences. I have 7-strand high tensile electric around the perimeter of my property, and that has done great for the goats. They don't challenge that fence. They stay where they're supposed to stay, inside those confines anyway. Like I said before, other than a little bit of wormer every now and then, they basically just kind of piggyback off of the cows. They use the same mineral that the cows use. They pick at the hay whenever I feed the cattle hay. All of those things. And, you know, to me, what they contribute is just, it would be very difficult to live without. So I guess my point in all of this is, if you're thinking about getting into the goat market, get into the goat market. It's been high for a long time, and based on what I've seen, based on what I've heard, folks I've talked to, I don't think things are going to change anytime soon. So that's it for this one. As always, I appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time. Watch out, you chickens.